Hey everyone, welcome to Heart Centered Tarot. As always, my name is Marina and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And it's Wednesday, so it's Let's Talk Astrology Day. And of course, today we are going to be covering Scorpio. Scorpio. I have a few Scorpios in my life and they are a lot of fun. So I'm anxious to learn all about Scorpio. And for that, I have here John from MASSALIA ASTRO TAROT.
Hello.
Hello. So Teresa Levine says, hi, Marina. Hi, John. Hey,
Hi.
Teresa. So let me bring you guys up to speed on what's been happening and some of the minor changes that we're going to make over the next little while. So we have when John and I first planned to do this, it was like, a weekly thing. That's not so bad. Not realizing and not thinking far enough ahead that, December is a very, very busy month. And a lot of things happen in December. And people get slammed in December. So, having said that, and with the preamble going up to it, what we decided to do was, after today's reading on Scorpio, we're going to do the last 3 readings instead of once a week, every 2 weeks. It'll still be on Wednesday. It'll still be 7 o'clock. That's not going to change. The only thing that is going to change is next week, instead of the 30th, when we're going to be reading on Sagittarius, we're actually going to move that over to December 7th. So the next winner that we're going to have, hi Dee, the next draw, the second draw for the winner is actually going to be just before we do Sagittarius on December the 7th. Now, I haven't had a chance to change any of the information in the description below, but I'll do that later, and I'll be able to include it in all the other videos, and I'll make sure that I change the dates and times and whatnot. So if you need anything, just look in the description, but check it later because I'm going to have to edit it. But that's the only way that we can do it, because John is working up it's like he's working part-time 40 hours a week. So and this is supposed to be something that we do for fun, that we look forward to doing, not having to do it at the end of a day after you've just put in a shift and you're tired, and you folks know what I'm talking about, right? So this is one way that we can kind of get around that. Everybody's going to be happy. It's just, instead of every week, it's going to be every 2 weeks. So there. Yeah, that's it. What else is happening with me over the next little while is yesterday I did a collaboration with Nina from Nine's Corner. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. She is a lovely, lovely person, and I can't wait to meet her in person. She's here in Alberta, and I've invited her to our tarot group to come down and do some readings, and hopefully she will take me up on that. But in the meantime, check that out. Wait while I pull up my calendar. On Friday, December 2nd at 3 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, Mountain Standard Time, whatever it is, I'm going to be hosting Val from Dragonfly Crystals on my channel. Really looking forward to that. And then the following Friday on the 9th at same time, 3 p.m., I will be a guest over on Val's channel. So, excuse me, I just finished having supper. So, yeah, you'll find the link to Val's channel down in the description. And then so far, the 28th of December at 7 p.m. I'm going to be on. I'm going to have Deanne, Shield Maiden Tarot, is going to be coming on the channel. So that information is listed below. Other than that, and aside from wishing our friends down south a very, very happy Thanksgiving and start to the official start to the holiday season and all that good stuff. So make sure that you have lots of turkey and all that kind of good stuff, and we celebrate with you. And Teresa, thank you, thank you, thank you. John, Teresa says you're worth waiting for.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
So there. Yeah.
Thank you, Teresa.
Absolutely. Okay. The only other thing that I wanted to mention, and I keep forgetting to mention this, is for those of you that are interested in possibly supporting the channel, you can do that with a super chat or super sticker or whatnot. And any donations are going to go towards, obviously, either updating equipment or offsetting some of the cost in being able to bring these videos to you. So you're certainly not obliged. If you do, it's very much appreciated, and I will thank you in advance. But okay, I think here we are. We're a good 7 minutes in, and
Yeah.
I can stop talking and turn it over to the guy who knows all there is to know about Scorpio. Okay, go.
Thank you, Marina.
Oh,
Okay, so everything today will be about the sign of Scorpio. So now that we've established our relationship in Libra, remember Libra is the first sign of the second half of the zodiac, meaning that we're now entering the more relational and maturing phase of the human development.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of polishing our personality in the 6 previous signs from Aries through Virgo, we are about to enter the darkest and the most grueling phase of the human evolution. So in Libra, the individual has learned the basics of human interaction and social mingling, as well as understanding how to balance their own needs versus their partners. And this is still at a very shallow, superficial level for true growth, though. So, our trip around the zodiac will let us traverse now the murky waters of Scorpio, where, where we shall encounter our own darkness, where we will be facing what most of us don't want to see. The sign of Scorpio is often misunderstood and can be hard to understand for some people, as it was originally touted to be one of the bad signs, quote unquote, along with Capricorn in popular circles. Capricorn was associated, especially through the Middle Ages, as the devil's sign. And Scorpio was not far behind. So those two had a very, let's say, seedy reputation.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the sign of Scorpio was associated with having unhinged sexual urges and devious or cruel tendencies. Everything that humankind was, I would say, was less than ideal in a way that was not accepted. everything related to taboos, social taboos, etc., were like all dumped into this sign.
Yeah. So
And
they
this is a little
took
bit
the blame
undeserving.
for everything. They took the
Yeah,
blame for everything that
yeah.
wasn't right. Yeah.
So of course, this is largely
Of course.
undeserving because
Yeah.
there's so much more than that in
Yeah.
Scorpio. Um, so while these concepts take root in some form of reality, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist,
Mm-hmm.
but they are nowhere as prevalent as these stereotypes will lead on.
Yeah.
Another thing to remember is that with Scorpio comes the end of the second elemental cycle started with Leo. Remember, there are
Mm-hmm.
3 elemental cycles in the zodiac. The first one, Aries through Cancer, was
Yeah.
about the formation of an identity based on the emerging as one in Aries and getting in touch with our own emotional nature in Cancer. And then with Leo through Scorpio, the second elemental cycle is all about the relational aspect. So including the other in
Yeah.
the equation.
Yeah.
Um, and that means that we are about to enter the final stage, the final elemental cycle in Sagittarius. But for that to happen, the Scorpio stage is to transform any residual shallow principles we have in our psychological frame.
Right.
So this is the time to be truthful with what we want and need out of life and stop living through it superficially. Superficially. Ugh,
Yeah.
that word is tough.
Superficially.
Thank you.
Super. Hey, listen. Don't apologize. Your English is a heck of a lot better than my French.
Oh,
So
thanks.
it's okay. Yeah.
Scorpio asks us to develop psychologically to face our demons that prevent us from evolving into what we're meant to become. This often brings some kind of symbolic death where we need to let go of what is expendable, often bringing pain, doubt, fear, but also acceptance and true satisfaction.
Yeah.
It is in our nature to fill ourselves with distraction, to veer us away from our true goal in life. And when you think about it, modern life is pretty much we're pretty much encouraged constantly to look away from our real
Yeah.
problems and fill it with like consumerism,
Yeah.
anything like that that is not truly essential. And
Yeah.
that is the role of Scorpio to in rein us in to what is truly essential for us.
Yeah.
So Scorpio ask us to develop psychologically to face our demons,
Yeah.
and this often brings some kind of yeah, I said that. So yeah, Scorpio helps us eliminating the unessential by going to the roots of the problem, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
So this Scorpio is the most profound and intense sign of all.
Yeah.
And it is most often met during crisis, where we feel hopeless about our capacity to overcome dangers and obstacles. During that period, we have no choice but to reconcile our own darkness with our ego so that we can become conscious of it.
Yeah.
This is the only way to get right on track, to get back on track and be on our own way to strive on new goals in Sagittarius without
Hmm.
falling into the trap of self delusion.
Yeah. Most Scorpios that I've known are that of course the well-balanced ones. And
Yeah.
and this applies to every single sign, right?
Yep.
You've got the well-balanced ones, and then those that fall sort of on either side of the good or the bad or whatnot. But they have always been very honest,
Yes.
very, very clear in sharing their information. But more than anything else, they tell you not necessarily what you want to hear, but what you
Yeah.
need to hear.
Yeah. This is the
Yeah.
sign that will do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't ask a Scorpio, does this dress make my ass look fat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You might won't get the answer you want.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So symbolically, the sign of Scorpio could be depicted as a dark swamp in the middle of a dense, misty forest at night. No light seems to be able to pierce through the thick layers of mud the pond has built up over time. Furthermore, no creatures inhabiting the premise is aware of the water's depth, short for few fishes lurking at its bottom. A mysterious stench emanates from the area, hinting at microbacterial activity occurring beneath the surface. So here, my illusion here is the fact that we can't see here with the murky swamp, and the water is not as crystal clear as it was in Cancer.
Yeah.
Cancer was all about this kind of um, really crystalline like water that we can drink up from a mountain source or something. But here in Scorpio, the water is much more dark, troubled. It's very hard to see at the bottom. So we don't know at first when we encounter that sign how deep their own life has pushed themselves to go into like some depth, I would say.
Yeah.
So how deep they've been working through their own problems. Because yeah, Scorpio is the sign of depth. There is no other signs that will do as much digging, as much investigating, self-analyzing than Scorpio.
Scorpio. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it. Scorpio is at the middle. It's in the middle half of the third quarter here. So it's rest between Libra, which much more, I would say, lighthearted, usually, and the much more enthusiastic Sagittarius, and much more hopeful, I would say.
Yeah.
So you have to transition into a really, I would say, dark and difficult time. The human soul has to traverse this kind of a their own internal hell
Yeah.
in order to be reborn as something truly essential.
Yeah. Like your own personal, what is it? Oh gosh. Oh, what's the words I'm looking for? Come on, Marina, use your words. A dark night of the soul. That's what
Yeah,
I'm looking for. Dark night of the soul. So it's like, yeah, you have to go inside. You have to look at the dirty, the ugly, the
yeah,
unpleasant, and come to terms with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Scorpio's job.
Yeah.
So Scorpio is one of the few signs to possess three planetary rulers:
Nice.
Pluto, Mars, and Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio and is associated with transformation, power, death, and crises. So the fact that Pluto rules over the our own darkness and the human
Mm-hmm.
psyche befits Scorpio's need for intensity and analytical skills.
Yeah.
I would say also that Pluto, since it deals with death and rebirth in general, truly exemplifies Scorpio's need to. It's like an inherent need for destroying what is, um, what is like either inefficient
Mm-hmm.
or cancerous,
Yeah.
and truly build upon those fresh layer of soil, of rich soil that
Yeah.
promise. It's like a promise of a new beginning here. So like
Okay.
that
Yeah. So like
rebirth.
getting rid of things that don't serve you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that is really that's really a good parallel between the first ruler of Scorpio being Pluto here.
Mm-hmm.
Then we
Yeah.
got Mars. This is the traditional ruler of Scorpio before Pluto was discovered as a quote unquote planet in 1930, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it speaks about the inner activity rather than the external activity seen in Aries. Remember, Aries' first ruler is
Yeah.
Mars. So,
Yeah.
Mars here, remember the sign of Gemini and Virgo and the sign of Taurus and Libra? Those share the same ruler.
Yeah.
So, for Gemini and Virgo, it was Mercury. And for Taurus and Libra, it was Venus.
Right.
So here, before the advent of Pluto, Mars also ruled both Aries and Scorpio
Yeah.
as their first ruler. But Mars here is less, I would say, is less overt in their aggression than
Mm-hmm.
Aries. It's less of an outburst of energy. It's more of I would say, underground rumbling.
Okay.
It needs to be, I would say, it's more of it's more of the tenacious activity that Scorpio can truly unveil and
Mm-hmm.
unfold as they come across challenges, as they truly pierce through adversity. So Mars here is much more enduring
Mm-hmm.
than in Aries. So
Yeah.
that's the key component here.
Okay.
Um, Mars also speaks about personal power in relation with Pluto
Mm-hmm.
and how we can use it to our advantage. So, meaning that Scorpio people are meant to fight and conquer the very thing that they fear within.
Yeah.
That's the internal combat, the
Yeah.
internal struggle.
Yeah.
And finally, the last ruler is Uranus. Uranus is the planet of collective, but also self awakening, meaning that it can shed light and powerful insights on Scorpio's mind so that so that this sign can truly evolve and understand its own mission. So that's why also you get a very, very strong intuitive side with Uranus and
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio. Those two combination, Uranus being the ruler of Scorpio, bring forth the I would say the intuitive side and the flashes of insight that this sign can
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Flashes of inspiration.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
Scorpio is a fixed water sign, meaning that its role is to stabilize and gain a sense of security. This is the fixed modality
Yeah.
around emotion and the inner life. This is the water element. So we have first experienced the emotional realm of water with Cancer. which was all about establishing roots and a personal history. But now the
Mhm.
tiny pond of crystalline water has matured into a larger lake housing multiple microorganisms, and Scorpio must learn to experience what it's like to be truly in a couple. Remember, it was first engaged by Libra, the couple.
Yeah.
But when when we first form a relationship like that, a romantic bond, of course, at first, it's going to be light, exciting, enthralling,
Yeah.
and all the little butterflies and very Libra like.
Yeah.
But then quarrels, arguments, separation anxiety, fear of being engulfed by commitment, etc.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are all real issues that we can all
Yeah.
experience during our lifetime being with someone else. So,
Yeah.
here, I would say that being in a couple truly test the individual in its ability to mature and transform itself so it can not only see their own needs like they all worked out through the previous signs, but now
Right.
they truly need to concentrate. But when the couple is formed, it's like a third entity is created, and we need to maintain that flame, that
Yes.
bond that we have. And that is why Scorpio is like a really strong test for us to take seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and also, also Scorpio symbolizes the like breakups, anything related to like psychological deaths.
Mm-hmm.
So breakups, so it's one of them. So I would say that the scorpion here is here to bond with someone and open their heart, often hidden from the limelight. Also, so here in Libra, we were all like really using our charms and our wits to attract someone and to
Yeah.
get this intellectual parity. But in Scorpio now, we need to face the true self.
Yeah.
The mask has to go, and we need to face like the good and the bad and the ugly, so
Yeah.
that the actual couple needs to outlast this um yeah need to overcome those
Yeah.
difficult times.
Yeah. It's like Libra is the engagement part of the relationship, and
Yep,
Scorpio is the marriage part, the reality,
the
right?
reality,
Not,
yes,
yeah, not the fancy wedding and the dress and the this and the that.
you
It's
got it.
how are you going to pay the bills? Yeah.
Yes, and
Absolutely.
it's really interesting that you bring this up because um the fact that you said about the bills, Scorpio, and this is a little bit of a, I would say, an advanced notion, but Scorpio's natural house is the eighth house since it's
Hmm.
the eighth sign.
Yeah.
And one of the sign- like one of the traits
Signifiers.
that signifiers,
Hmm.
thank you, of the eighth house is like the significant other's money and the
Yeah.
debts that can unfold from having a couple, like when you're like, and it could be monetary, but it also be like karmic,
Yeah.
spiritual.
Yeah.
So why have you established a couple with that person? Why have you like mingled with that one instead of the other one? So there's kind of a magnetism coming from
Yeah.
like this experience of intensely bonding with someone and then having to like pay your due in a way,
Yeah.
if applicable.
Yeah.
So being very secretive and sensitive to external aggression, people with significant amounts of Scorpio in their chart can run the risk of never truly be able to face their fear of sharing their intimacy with another person and prefer celibacy instead. Since this sign can also easily doubt their power to change and evolve from adversity, this means that they can be caught in the trap of constant anguish, denying their will to fight for themselves, effectively become
Mhm.
self destructive. Accessing emotional depth for anyone is no easy task. But for
Yeah.
Scorpio, it is mandatory so to express their true potential and become expert of the collective darkness.
That makes sense.
As for their preferred careers, have Scorpios have a plethora of domains they can explore. It's like
Hmm.
never ending.
Hmm.
So, since Scorpio is in line with healing, they can find their calling by becoming psychologists, medical doctors, pharmacists, psychiatrists, and the list goes on. It's
Yeah.
anything related to healing, and it could be conventional healing, but with Scorpio,
Yeah.
more often than not, they will try to include some kind of spiritual aspect to them.
Yeah.
There's this kind of, there's no, Scorpio is the most healing sign of the zodiac since
Yeah.
they can truly go to the root of a problem and heal at the very, very deepest of a
Hmm.
human soul. So, yeah, that's no wonder you can see them in those kind of, yeah, those kind of domains.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And also, like Virgo, remember Virgo, they can
Hmm.
perform well in research of all kind.
Yep.
So remember Virgo's one of Virgo's quality was they are really analytical. And Scorpio is another sign of being very analytical too.
Yeah.
I would say Virgo is more about details,
Hmm.
about concrete details, while Scorpio is more about emotional, human details.
Yeah.
But if you see someone having plenty of planetary placements in those two signs, you can bet that they are in either a research field or something really like psychology, psychometry, something like that. I've
Hmm.
seen countless examples of someone
Yeah.
who are extremely analytical, extremely. Oh yeah, definitely. With
Yeah.
those two signs emphasized, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. It makes sense.
oh yeah. An even more surprising outlet is demolition, since Pluto and
Hmm.
Scorpio are associated with destruction and rebirth in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see like people working in demolition,
Yeah.
reconstruction, or things like yeah, anything that pertains to um like bringing the
Restore.
dynamite and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've seen
Restoring furniture.
yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Restoring things also. They're
Yeah.
really good at it. Um Also, Scorpio people can study human sexuality, of course,
Mhm.
by becoming like sexual therapists or something like that.
Yeah.
And finally, by analogy with Pluto signifying collective power and the highest sphere of power, some Scorpio can have a natural knack for finance and economy. But to make a distinction with, I would say, Taurus. Taurus is also a sign of money,
Hmm.
but Taurus is more about, I would say, lower economy, like agricultural or
Yeah.
like little like finance thing, like economic, or more like, I
Yep.
would say, yeah, you get my gist. It's more about uh the it's, I don't know how to say it, but yeah,
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah. Taurus is um, more practical.
Yeah,
And
either like one on
yeah,
one or like with like someone like a client or something. But here
yeah,
with Scorpio, it's the higher realm of
yes,
finance, really high,
yes,
and like could be like uh I don't have the words, but yeah, the higher sphere of economy and finance in
yeah,
general.
yeah. Understanding the, I know exactly what you mean, and the words are not coming to me. And the reason that I know exactly what you mean is, yeah, one of my best friends is a Scorpio, and we met when we both worked for the bank.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
yeah, and it wasn't just, we were tellers. We worked in the mortgage department, so it was
Oh,
very, yeah,
yeah. Another one that I didn't mention. Yeah,
yeah,
mortgage, and also working with like, yeah, death in general.
hmm,
Yep.
yeah,
So I could
absolutely,
go on and on and on about Scorpio. It's
yeah.
like they're everywhere.
I know, and thank God that they are, because you know what?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes we need to get a little hit from that stinger, because you
Yes.
know, yeah, every once in a while it gets you and you go, "Oh, wait, that was awful. Oh, wait. No, hey. Why did I do that?" Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying. I love my Scorpios. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about the dark side of Scorpio. It's like an
Hmm.
oxymoron or like like a double,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because it's already like a dark side or dark
yeah,
sign, I would say. So it doesn't prevent Scorpio to be affected by its dark side, obviously.
yeah.
When Scorpio becomes enamored with power, that
Hmm.
is one example
Yeah,
that can occur. They can turn into ruthless, controlling masterminds,
yeah,
unabashed by their never-ending cravings. They can be money hungry, of course, but they also can be emotional manipulators, abusers, etc.
hmm,
Yeah. This sign can become really fearful of losing said power to the hands of even more malicious people, and therefore
yeah,
deploy every strategy to maintain their grasp on what they have. Yeah, this is the controlling part of Scorpio. Unfortunately,
yeah,
it can happen.
yeah,
This situation is when they have integrated the negative side of Taurus. Remember, Taurus is all about, well, the dark side of Taurus is greed,
yeah,
being overly attached to the material life, the
yeah,
material plane, because they pour their heart and emotion
yeah,
into, yeah, the object
yeah,
rather
yeah,
than the values.
yeah, yeah,
So, of course, being the opposite sign, they can influence each other and become very destructive. So when Scorpio integrate the negative side of Taurus, uh, they like hold on needlessly to things that just, it's like they interrupt the flow of what should be uh always flowing in a way that is
yeah,
unnatural, and become
yeah,
they like their pincers, they like put their pincers onto something and just don't let go.
yeah. Like, yeah, yeah. Teresa says that she married a Scorpio, and it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which part, Teresa, or just
Yeah,
all
which
of it?
part?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
another side of this dark depiction is the inability to confront their fears, turning instead to coping mechanisms in order to quell what is too hurtful or nightmarish to see. Some might
Mm-hmm.
never come to peace with themselves and overanalyze their psychological pitfalls and feel paralyzed by the idea of taking a stand or transform their emotional
Yeah.
distress into concrete action.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get the overly, I would say, controlling
Yeah.
Scorpio, and you get the like powerless form of Scorpio
Yeah.
too. So that's why Scorpio's mission is to deal with power,
Yeah.
starting with their own.
Yeah.
So, in either of all those three scenarios, the issue is there is a misuse of personal power and a refusal to address personal depth. As long as
Yeah.
there will be an emotional blockage or a reluctance to healing, the scorpion can effectively turn its deadly venom against itself.
Exactly.
Like you've said before.
Yeah. Oh, and just to interrupt you for a second, Teresa
Sure.
says, yeah, all can drive you crazy. We live in different houses. Okay, then. I I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. Oh,
What
anyway,
else?
sorry to bother you. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. So, the life mission of Scorpio is to allow transformation to occur and come to terms with its own darkness. By
Yeah.
being upfront about its personal issues, then Scorpio lets its intuition and perceptiveness speak like no other signs ever could. The scorpion then transforms into its second symbol, the far seeing eagle overlooking the world through scrutiny and wisdom.
Yeah.
In that stance, this sign can use its intuition and analytical skills to the greater good and heal others who suffer like it had. There is a strong truth telling quality to a healthy Scorpio that can be very well received by people who have searched for answers to no avail in the
Yeah.
past. And I want to reiterate that no one can truly heal someone else as deeply as Scorpio. So
Yeah.
that's why it is so crucial for them to do their own self work in order to cultivate their natural talent and provide treatment for those who needs it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, they
Mm,
once they get into this kind of plane of health, they are naturally transformative. Whatever they seek, whatever they touch, they have this incredible intuition
yeah.
about what needs to be done in order to renew themselves or others. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a magic touch
Yeah.
they have.
Yeah. Very true.
So, in relationships, people with dominant Scorpio in their charts will try to avoid superficial partners as they usually seek someone with whom they can share something truly unique and meaningful. It can be hard to break the ice at first, as this sign can be very secretive and quite shy. But eventually, should they feel safe in the fact that they've chosen the right fit, they will open their heart and become very intimate with that lucky one.
Mm-hmm.
And on a side note, on a superficial note, this sign can truly honor their reputation as the sexual one since they can truly be intense and passionate in that area.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and so, Teresa said, yeah, Aquarius and Scorpio might not be a good mix. Get along great when we don't live together.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because Scorpio lives, it's like symbolically, Scorpio
Mm-hmm.
lives at the deepest part of the earth, like literal hell, to be
Yeah.
said like that. While Aquarius is like, it's like living like on a different plane altogether, like in the heavens. It's
Mm-hmm.
completely different. So
Yeah.
the trick to understand with Aquarius, it's like they can be so caught up with their mental constructions that they lost their own feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And Scorpio is the opposite. It's quite the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah. They're the
It's
ones
all,
that are needling you. Like, yeah, pay attention, pay attention. Yeah.
yeah, to the emotional reality. So
Yeah.
that's why they can like totally butt heads in a way that
Yeah.
is, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, we can see there with the associations, especially like I like to emphasize on the body parts, the elements,
Yeah.
and illnesses that remember the zodiac man. Now we're really in
Yeah.
the groin area.
Yeah.
So everything pertaining to um yeah, this the nether regions will be
Yeah.
usually ruled by Scorpio.
Yeah.
And of course, since this is the those body parts that are attached to this sign, while you will get the illnesses that comes with it.
Yes.
So yeah, you
Yes.
can see them.
Yeah.
um and also I would say that the occupation, I've added a couple of those. um some are more Scorpio-ish than others,
Mm-hmm.
especially the latter ones. The butcher is by association with Mars. So
Yeah.
more Mars like Scorpio might be more interested in like
Yeah.
yeah, especially with metal work. Remember Aries
Yes.
was all about like hacking, slashing,
Yes.
more physically involved at times.
Yes.
So yeah, and like Virgo, they can be interested into science and transformation, how
Yeah.
the earth can like physically or chemically can transform itself.
Yes.
So yeah, they can be really good at that. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wow.
And then you got my part that I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Yeah.
planets that falls into Scorpio will need to be further analyzed and personally understood both by the reader and the client, since they usually
Yeah.
hold a lot of potential for greatness but also for destruction. Failure to express planets in a healthy way may result in serious neuroticism, phobias, and or sexual or hormonal issues.
Yeah.
So the sun in Scorpio, the sun, like I always say, is the identity, the self, how you can shine, how you can, it is our goal in life to fulfill.
Yeah.
So of course the identity here is tied to how deep you can be with your
Mm-hmm.
emotion and your own identity. So it's like there's an ability, there's a natural ability here, having the sun in Scorpio, to always transform themselves into something else. So the sun here, the identity is always shifting, transforming, transmuting into something um, more refined. Here, there's a complexity to having its identity in Scorpio here. And there's an absolute need to explore the self in order to shine and to develop here. Definitely. We need here for the sun in Scorpio to be more aware or of how it's sorry, internal mechanism is geared.
Right.
And the moon in Scorpio here, the moon is the emotional security. And the moon in Scorpio, I would say, is a rather interesting placement. Because usually when the moon is in a water sign, it also means that the moon is in natural, it's like a natural element for the moon.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I can express my emotion freely. It's like a natural
Yeah.
communicating like vector. But having the moon in Scorpio, meaning that uh, it's either can become obsessed with its inner life and how we can they have usually people with the moon in Scorpio have intense emotional depth, but like I've written here, they can censor their emotion
Yeah.
because it might be overwhelming and
Yeah.
terrifying. This
Yeah.
is too much. And the moon in Scorpio is not a natural positive placement, I would say. It's not a good. The moon isn't very comfortable in the sign of darkness.
Yeah.
Need So yeah, this can be very, very. This moon can be prone to strong phobias or anxiety, also.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and accessing that emotions, that memory that triggered that fear or something like that, that phobia, it can be hard to like manifest.
Yeah.
So the emotions can be very well hidden. They can appear very stoic, very like, no, I don't have any
Mm-hmm.
emotions, or no, I don't,
Yeah.
because they can kill out
Yeah.
their emotional expression.
Yeah.
Mercury in Scorpio, they communicate with depth and intensity. Oh, this is the investigator, definitely.
Yes.
Because Mercury is all about our personal interest, how we communicate, how we understand and process information. So, yeah, Mercury here is very, very profound here. And they can be able to pierce through complex subject. But of course, they can be obsessed about solving problems or solving things, or yeah, obsessed about like, oh my God, I don't know, I need to do that or something terrible will happen. Like, yeah.
Mm. Okay. Yeah.
But this is a very good placement, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I can see where that would be almost I think a prerequisite to a good trial lawyer is to have,
Yeah.
yeah, Mercury and Scorpio, right?
Oh,
And
that let's sleuth
yeah,
and that. Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. Cut to the chase. Just yeah.
Oh yeah. And either like research, science,
Mm-hmm.
also
Yeah.
uh paralegal, anything. Yeah. Yeah, they
Yes.
can excel in a lot.
Yeah.
Venus in Scorpio. So
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of the, I would say, this kind of seductress, really this dark, mysterious
Mm-hmm.
aura surrounding that kind of the way we can express our sexuality and
Mm-hmm.
seductive aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it can be translated into being quite sultry at times,
Mm-hmm.
um, or some kind of temptress. I don't want to
Yep.
go into stereotypes, but they can either um, express their sexuality and sensuality very overtly by dressing
Yes.
provocatively, or
Yes.
as well as the moon in Scorpio, Venus is not very comfortable in that sign. So they can outright censor their attractiveness and
Mm-hmm.
become like very hard to pierce through. But
Yeah.
when they like something or they love something, they're intensely involved with it. Oh my God,
Yes.
yes. It's like,
Yeah,
whew,
very much so.
oh, intense.
Yeah.
And finally, Mars in Scorpio here. Well, Mars, like I've said before, um, Mars is as the natural ruler of Scorpio will be like quite at ease in Scorpio. So they are
Mm-hmm.
stimulated by intensity in general. And this placement, especially, they can, like I said, like I wrote here, they can work and train so hard. It is
Yes.
insane. Like they can almost like self-destruct to the
Yeah.
like in the way they like being workaholic, or I've seen like people lifting weights and being like going to the gym like 7 days a
Yeah.
week with that placement. I've seen
Yes.
people being like it, or yeah, getting overly sexual
Mm-hmm.
also is
Yeah.
can be a potential outcome with that position. But also Mars here, uh this is very good for research also, because
Yeah.
they won't give up once they are
Yes.
stimulated by, like I said, intensity,
Yeah.
like challenge, yeah, and they won't let go,
Yeah.
unlike Mars and Aries. And
Yeah.
anger is like, what's the saying, like, vengeance is a, I don't know, there's like a
Well,
saying
there's
about vengeance or something.
vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Or the other one, well,
Best served
there's
cold or something.
sorry. Well, the other I think about, yeah, vengeance or oh revenge is
Yeah,
best
revenge.
served cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I was searching. Yeah,
Yeah.
revenge is best served cold. That is Mars in Scorpio,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Hey, Bora
Ye-
Bora uh has said hi, but she also says, yeah, I don't have Scorpio in my sun, moon, or rising, but happy to be here as a Pisces sun, Cancer moon.
Oh,
So, yeah, we're Pisces is unfortunately the last sign that we're going to
yeah.
read on, and that'll be now, according to the new timetable, it will be January 4th, I think. So yeah, you'll have to swing by for that. And yeah, you can learn all about, well, you can learn a little more about Pisces, but um yeah, Cancer moon. Oh, I bet you live your emotions, Bora.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cancer moon is, yeah, quite emotional.
Yeah. Oh, and she says, yeah, I dated a Scorpio man a long time ago. We were young. Yes, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that I can see where um it would have been, it probably would have been intense, um but yeah, difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
difficult.
always complex with Scorpio.
Yes. Yes, yeah, very much so.
So I'd like to finish, as always, with my examples of celebrities with dominant
Hmm.
Scorpio in their charts. So first, we've got American actor, dancer, and singer-songwriter Matthew Morrison with
Ah.
12 points out of 20 in Scorpio.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely a lot. We've got also American actress, fashion designer, and former model Chloe Sevigny.
Oh, okay.
We've got the famous American actress turned Princess of Monaco, Grace Kelly.
Yeah, the the epitome of everything regal and royal,
Oh
and
yeah.
And very sensual too.
Yes.
Just in her, I don't think she had to try very hard to be a sensual human being. I think she just was.
Yeah, and what's interesting here, you can see that even if she's got so much Scorpio here, she's still got Venus in Libra.
Mm,
Remember, Libra is all about grace, all
yeah,
about beauty, and all about this kind of refined sensuality.
yeah,
So she's got all that, definitely. But she's got that intensity
yeah,
also. And that look is
yeah,
like piercing.
absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was just reading about her the other day where she had a Scorpio ball
Mm.
that everyone that was invited was a Scorpio or was married to a Scorpio. And yeah, it was
Wow.
quite the event. And she also picked the color theme that everyone had to come in dressed in either one of two colors. And
Wow.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is incredible.
Mm,
So now we got another doozy here. Chinese American actor and martial arts
mm,
expert Bruce Lee.
yep.
Yep, another one. Look at that
Yeah.
red here.
Yeah.
Whew, that is
Is there
intense.
any other color there?
Yeah. But
Who
even if he's Sagittarius and
Mhm.
Sagittarius rising,
Yeah.
you can definitely feel the intensity of
Yeah.
this sign of Scorpio here. Like, and this transformative life that he's got. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely there was intensity all the way with him.
Yeah.
And we
Absolutely.
got American musician and the drummer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chad
Ah,
Smith.
yeah.
And finally, we've got American film producer, director, screenwriter, and actor David Zucker.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry, I was reading in the chat. Amanda Carroll came in and she said, "Yeah, my Taurus niece finally filed for divorce from her triple Scorpio
mm,
husband on the
well,
full moon eclipse in Scorpio."
oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah. Some
wow,
things, you got to go with what the universe tells you to do.
yeah, especially with
Yeah,
eclipses. Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. Uh, I grew up in the Northeast. Wait, yeah, and Bora Bora is saying that yes, she and um, her husband, yeah, they were living in Colorado. He grew up in Nebraska, and I grew up in Northeast USA. Then moved to San Francisco Bay Area. Yeah, great. Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad you guys are here. So yeah, this is, you know what? Um, the more the more time that passes, the deeper that we go into these, and the more that I can kind of piggyback the information from one sign onto another sign.
yeah,
Yeah, the more that I'm um, really fascinated by all the astrology and how um, you can sometimes see the people who or the signs who might be fighting
yeah,
against what they are. or against their planetary poles and whatnot, and
Yeah.
how difficult and challenging it is. And it just kind of reinforces the idea that, yeah, there are some things you can control, and then there's just some things that, what, yeah. I was born with brown eyes. I can manifest all I want to have green eyes. It's just not going to happen. So,
True.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, John, so much for another fantastic, fantastic session.
You're
And so, for
welcome.
those of you that came in late, I'll let you know that what we have decided to do is, because John is now basically working 40 hours a week full time and trying to do this for us in the evening, it's just too much. And with the holidays coming, we are going to next Wednesday's broadcast is going to be postponed by 1 week. So we're going to go to December 7th. And then the next show after that is going to be 2 weeks later on the 21st. And then the final one is going to be on January 4th. So if you scroll down in the description, what you're going to see there for now are things the way that we set them up initially when Christmas was the furthest thing from my mind. But now, yeah, now that it's here, yeah, we kind of have to deal with reality. We cannot do everything. So we'll be going every 2 weeks for the next 3, 4. Yeah. 3?
I think 4.
4. Yeah. 4. Yeah. Yeah. Because we've got Sagittarius in this one, and then the 3. Okay. Yeah. So for the next 4, it'll be every 2 weeks. So I am going to update the information in the description below as soon as I have a chance. And yeah, and I'll just remind you folks that, yeah, we're going every 2 weeks. So the next sign that we'll be doing is Sagittarius, and that will be on December 7th. And before we do that one, that's when we'll have the draw for the second winner. And in order to enter the contest, all you have to do is you subscribe to Heart Centered Tarot, information down below, and you subscribe to MASSALIA ASTRO TAROT, information below. And just after this video is posted, leave a comment. Any comment will do. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, we'll take it from there. And Teresa says, thank you, John. It's always fun learning from you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, it absolutely is. And what you're getting, Teresa, is just a small sample of what this man knows. And oh boy, yeah, very knowledgeable. So, all right, I will let you go. Whoops, so that you can go rest up.
Yep.
And have a great evening. Don't work too hard.
I'll try.
Don't bring your work home.
No.
That could be dangerous. So, yeah, and we'll take it from there. In the meantime, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Take care, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Okay, bye.
Bye.